What can you master? Yeah. What do you want to be a master of?
I heard the word no for 2 years.
First thing really you have to do is believe in yourself that it can be done.
I should have been watching what the billionaires do. They don't operate like millionaires.
How do you manage your energy so that you're always half full?
I live a completely systematic life. You know, I think you know it well. It's the habit side, right? And now imagine if your habit level goes even further, right? Where now you only pick projects and build projects where your part of it is only where you find energy. So now
doesn't take your energy.
Right. And then now connect that to having a complete life plan and total purpose that's scalable.
Yeah.
Right. So now every aspect of your life has purpose and meaning. So your faith in your big ideas is always there because you believe in your plan. And you're not getting outside your comfort zone because you've built your entire system around making sure you stay there. It's almost impossible to drift out of it. Now, I have intangibles like incredible love, right? Mm-hmm. I have the love of my life and the person that I was absolutely meant to live on this earth with forever, right? And create a family and build forever. And that's something that's we all hope and dream for, but actually achieving it is the greatest of great unknowns, and actually getting. And when you are already built around creating a systematic life plan on top of optimizing that and building it to evolve as you grow, but now when you're building that forever plan with someone that you are fully aligned with in that purpose together, and now your entire universe is built around the both of you. Wow. It's something to be grateful for at an extremely fundamental level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's not many people I know could articulate it like that or actually live it and understand what it actually feels like. Because it's
What's
especially
it feel like?
Relationships. It's peace. You know what I mean? And it's you get up each day. It don't matter how chaotic things are. You look at it half full. You just deal with it as it goes, and you've built your world in a way that the stakes aren't so high in anything that you're doing. And at the end of the day, your family and your core relationship that's at the center of it all is the most important.
Yeah.
Right? So your balance naturally occurs because you're not, a lot of really driven people have to fight to find balance, right? Versus building an entire balanced system so that you live in balance. You never have to search for it. You actually live in it. And part of living in that balance is making sure that you live in the energy of everything and get up every day and look at it half full, right? Because you just look at you're happy, and it's a difficult thing to achieve. It took me 3 years, I would say. Meeting Tony Robbins was a huge part of it.
When did you meet him?
2 years ago, right? I had basically 3 years ago, I had just finally had enough of what I was doing.
Which was?
Everything, right? And if you...
little bit of everything.
If you choose, because when you literally can do anything and you choose to do it all, you end up standing for nothing, right? And I was always doing all these things thinking one of them was going to be the answer. And I finally stopped and said, no, let's decide what it's all for and what you actually want to do forever, and begin to build that and transition into the rest of your life and a plan that is scalable to who you are. So it's puts you in what you love to do the most, and that gives you that same sort of creative freedom to have a ton of variety, so you can still do a ton of different things but not be burdened by any of them, right? Is sort of ultimately what it is. And then what can you master? What do you want to be a master of? right? You have to decide what your mastery is so that you can spend the rest of your life getting better and better and better and better.
I heard the word no for 2 years.
Oh,
Yeah, all the
okay.
manufacturers, nobody thought it was a good idea.
Wow.
And also when you're just yourself trying to break into an industry like you mentioned, the manufacturers, it's not really in their best interest to slow down machines or try to
Yeah.
give a girl with a couple grand a chance.
Unless you're going to give them a bunch of money for a big order of something.
Yeah,
It's like, what's
so
the point?
right. So
Wow.
that was the hard part. And then once I had it, I cold called Neiman Marcus, and that was the first account I called on.
Did you get it?
Yes.
Well, you were great at sales,
Well,
so
listen,
you could sell it.
I was so excited. It was my moment. I flew to Dallas. I called them and said, if you give me 10 minutes of your time, I'll come and meet with you. And she said, all right.
And this is a buyer.
Yep, the buyer. I first called the Atlanta store. They're like, girl, we can't help you. We have a buying office. I'm like, well, where is that? Give me their number.
Wow.
And I went in, and halfway through my pitch, I could tell I was losing her. So I said, you know what? Will you please come to the bathroom with me? And she was like so buttoned up. I mean, Neiman Marcus,
Right.
like her pen matched her belt that matched her shoes. And she was like, what?
And you're like, what am I going to do in the bathroom?
I know. I was like, just follow me to the bathroom and show you my own panty line. And I went in the stall with Spanx in my pants and without it in my pants. And she was like, oh, I totally get it. It's awesome. And I'm going to put it in 7 stores.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, just like that.
Just like that. It was so unbelievable. I was so nervous. And then, of course, I had to call Sam. I'm like, in the rental car on the way back to the airport, I called the owner of the manufacturing plant. I'm like, Sam, it's Sarah. I need more. I just landed Neiman Marcus. And he's like, what? He was in shock. He goes, Sarah, I thought you were going to give these away as birthday presents for like years. And I said, no, Neiman Marcus just bought it and I need more. And he patched me through to Ted. He goes, okay, you need to talk to Ted.
Okay.
So Ted comes back in. He's on the phone. And I go, Ted, I need more. And he goes, I just landed Neiman Marcus. He goes, well, that's great, but what you can do about the crotches?
The crotches?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. I go, what? Don't they come with crotches? We've been making them with crotches. He goes, well, yeah, but we only got one crotch machine. It's being used by somebody else.
No way.
Yeah.
So what do you do then?
So I just landed Neiman Marcus and I have no crotches.
Oh my gosh.
I don't
You got
know
a hole in your crotches?
I don't know where to go for a crotch. I mean,
I don't know.
Where do you go? I actually looked in the yellow pages.
Crotch making machines?
Yeah, I looked up crotch.
Crotch machine.
I looked up
I
crotch.
don't even know how you spell crotch.
Okay, listen. This is what I learned. I'm going to teach you something. Okay, so I didn't know this.
What's Yellow Pages again?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm just kidding.
It's a big book. It's yellow.
Of
It's
course.
what we used to look
Of
things up.
course.
Hilarious. And what's Instagram? Oh yeah.
You just got on
teach
it.
me. Okay, I just joined it 7 days ago. All right. So where was? Oh, crotch.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Crotch machine.
So,
Looked it up.
Yeah. So anyway, in the yellow pages, it's not under crotch. So I learned there's a fancy word for crotch named
What?
gusset.
Gusset?
Yes.
What?
Gusset.
Never even heard that word.
So I started calling gusset companies. They were like FedExing me crotches from all over. My roommate would come home and be like, you got another crotch in the mail. And then I ended up finding a man by the name of Gene Bobo that worked for a crotch company just 20 minutes north of where I lived in Atlanta. And he saved the day. And they made the crotches. And then I could deliver Neiman Marcus.
So you had the leggings. They made the crotches, and then you sewed them together. Is that how it works?
Yes, apparently. Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So then you had enough. How many did you print the first time?
3,000.
3,000.
3,000 pair of the first Spanx.
One SKU, right? Or
Yes, one
different si-
SKU.
with different
$20,
sizes?
one SKU.
3 sizes or
Like four.
Four
Four
sizes.
sizes, yep.
Wow.
And
3,000 of them.
yes, and that's what Neiman's ordered. And then I sent them to they sent them to the 7 stores. I had no packing and shipping department. So the semi trucks were pulling up to my apartment in Atlanta and I was
Oh my
shipping
gosh.
them myself to Neiman's.
This is amazing.
And then I called every friend I had in those 7 cities, like people I hadn't talked to in 20 years.
So, hey, go buy a few of these. Go
Oh
make
my
yeah. Take your girlfriends there.
Hi, Christina. Remember me? I used to sit next to you all the time in grade school. Will you please go buy this product called Spanx? I literally called them and I said, and I'll mail you a check. So I paid all my friends and friends of friends to go buy the product.
That is brilliant,
And
actually,
I said,
to get some movement.
yeah, I said, go in. I gave him a whole script. I'm like, go in and say, I've been looking for this all my life. I can't believe it's here, and create all this excitement.
This is amazing.
And then, of course, a week later, I talked to the Neiman's buyer, and she's like, Sarah, we are blowing out. I'm like, you don't say.
No way.
Meanwhile, I was buying them all. Yeah,
That's brilliant.
you have to.
Wow.
You have to. You
created
have
incredible
to
momentum.
ensure your own success.
Absolutely.
So then, once I started running out of money, Oprah called. and put it on as her favorite product of the year.
First thing really you have to do is believe in yourself that it can be done. And people have to believe that with or without them, it's going to get done.
It's happening.
It's happening. This train is leaving the station. So when I started the first time in, the Moon Express, I said, people, every time in your life you have had a chance to watch the history being made, how often in your lifetime you get a chance to make the history? Come join me and we can make the history together. Or you can watch on the sideline while we make the history and you watch.
Right.
And that's
No one wants to miss out.
Nobody wants to miss that out. And another thing that I found really interesting is the bigger and the crazier the idea, the easier it is to execute.
Really?
Yeah. And here's the thing. So for example, if I tell someone, hey, I'm going to build an iPhone app that's going to be able to help you find a roommate. People say, good idea, great idea, go do it, have fun with it. When I tell them, I'm going to start something that's going to make illness as an option, you start to get the best and the brightest from around the world, because now you have created a big magnet. It attracts the people who want to make this their legacy. They want to work on the hard problem. They want to solve the problem that changes the way people live their lives, right? And when I did that, I was telling you, the head of the IBM Watson research called and said, I can build the AI for you. I've been doing for 20 years.
Wow.
Just get me the data from inside the body and I can get the AI for you. Dr. Massier, PhD in microbiology, MD. She's working for Craig Venter, who was on the cover of Time magazine with the title, The Man Who Played God, working on making the people live forever.
Wow.
She calls me and says, what's the point living longer? People are going to be sick. I love your vision. I'm going to quit my job and join you.
Wow.
Right? Dr. Yusevich found us because he said, I have the technology that looks inside your body. We did it for the national defense work. I think we can get that for you. Right. The point was that single goal of what is possible allowed me to bring these people together. And when you have these people together, what happens? Every single venture capital wants to be investing in that because you have this amazing
all-stars.
team, all-star team with a vision that could change the way people live their life. What if I'm right? This is not a $10 billion company. It's not a $100 billion company. This is, as I say, even sky is not the limit, right?
The moon's not the limit.
Even moon is the galaxy is not the limit. Even universe is not the limit, right? Because it can be anything. It changed the way people live their lives. But the best thing is you did something that changed the lives of billions of people around the world. And that is the thing that people want to be. Nobody joins the company saying, oh, I will make a lot of money. People do it because they say, I'll have serious impact. And I remind people, unlike the olden days, people did good or people did well. That means people started non-profit or people started for profit. I really think the world had changed where people like you, Louis, are changing the way people live. They're saying is, you can be great, but you don't have to be mean. You can build amazing, great companies, not at the backs of people. And I really believe if you want to do the small good in the world, you create a non-profit. Right? If you do want to do a large good in the world, you create for-profit, because profit is the engine that drives you to scale. Right? So never ever think that what you're doing, if it makes money, somehow you are letting yourself down. You say, if I'm ever going to be doing great stuff in the world, it needs to have an engine for profitability.
Yeah, resources.
I was too conservative with money for too long.
You were
I
saving
listened
too
to
much,
my
or you were-
rich uncle. He was a millionaire uncle. I listened to my millionaire uncle had too much of an influence for too long over my life. I should have been watching what the billionaires do. They don't operate like millionaires.
How do they operate differently?
They throw down. Totally different. Like the think is completely different. They don't worry about quarters. The millionaire's worried about quarters. He's a miser. They're misers. I know people worth $4 and $5 million. They're total misers. Total, like, degraded. They're as bad off as the freaking guy on the street corner. You know, won't give anybody anything, won't share anything, looks for every shortcut, every sale. Well, I know a guy that's a car dealer that He must own 25 car dealerships. He probably makes, I don't know, 400 or 500. He's got to be worth $1 billion.
Really?
He goes twice a year and gets one of his employees to get a new Macy's card so he can get an extra 15% off.
Really?
Freaking complete insanity. You know, he's probably a billionaire on paper, but not a billionaire in his heart. Because the real players, the real guys, they'll go out and buy a jet. That's why I bought a jet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, my millionaire uncle would never buy a jet. That's a bad investment. But the billionaires, they all own them. Why? Because they value time more than money, right? They want to buy time.
Because it doesn't make sense financially for you.
No.
You're losing money on
totally.
jet.
All jets go to zero. So when you buy a jet for $60 million, you know that jet's going to zero. One day it's going to be in some salvage, some joint somewhere being taken apart for parts. So all jets go to zero. So you know when you're buying it, it's going down to zero. It's not going to be worth more money.
But the things it brings you.
But dude, it buys you time. It buys you. A jet is not like a boat, by the way. A jet can get you to business. People go to boats. Jets go to people. And so I can just tell you, we bought that jet 2 years ago. I paid for it the first year.
From the deals you got,
it got me to new places. Yeah. And it got me a better quality of life because now my kids are with me, hanging out. And,
peace of mind as well. Yeah.
So big failures. I did business with a guy when I was 45 years old that I shouldn't have done business with. That was a huge mistake. And big lesson I got from that though was, I know what's true. I know when I see the indicators on a dude, I don't need anybody to tell me he's all right or not all right. I know what I know.